this is exciting. You're hosting the 3D Film Festival in Los Angeles. It's September 30th through October 3rd. And I'm curious to know what excited you about the prospect of hosting this festival when they approached you with the idea.
Well, I'm a 3D enthusiast. I directed my first film in 3D called Dark Country. We're showing on Saturday night with a little Q&A. Mm-hmm. And I've been involved with 3D for a number of years. I'm a member of the Southern California Stereo Club. Been around for about 50 years. And they have chapters all over the world, stereo clubs. And we've been meeting, with those guys and watching 3D and learning about 3D for a long time. So there's some people who kind of get 3D in a visceral way, and some people are not as impressed by it. But I think that interocular illusion of watching a 3D image creates almost like a high in your mind for some people. In other words, people really get off on 3D.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm one of those people. I find it endlessly fascinating.
Well, in decades,
asked me to host the 3D Film Festival. I think a very natural fit for me.
Well, in decades past, when 3D movies have kind of come and gone, I guess they came and went because they were seen as more of a gimmick. What do you think is different about this age of 3D filmmaking?
Well, 3D was taken very seriously when it came out in the 50s. 3D has been around since the late 1800s. But started making movies in 3D at a popular level. It was very popular. It was around for a few years. They made hundreds of 3D films. Mm-hmm. And some of them are very, very good. What killed 3D in the 50s was the fact that basically user error. Projectionists had trouble lining up the two projectors and keeping them in sync. The fact that you're using a very analog system with a lot of room for error, and the audiences got kind of tired of going to the theater and knowing that, there's as good a chance as there was not that something was going to be wrong with the 3D in the theater. But this time around, with 3D going digital, there's no room for user error, and every screening looks just like the last. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to see 3D stick around because people always get the same experience now when they're watching a 3D film.
And you as you mentioned, your film that you directed is showing there, and I want to talk to you about your film. But first, some of the other events that are taking place there, they've converted the Ed Wood film, Plan 9 from Outer Space. That's one of the films I know. What are some other great showcases?
Well, I think they're going to show Piranha 3D. There'll be some terrific 3D film programming. There's also Flash has a video that they're going to premiere at the 3D Film Fest. There's video games. There's auto stereoscopic screens. All the cutting-edge sort of 3D technology that you're going to see roll out over the next couple of years will make an appearance at 3D Film Fest. So it's sort of all things 3D are going to be represented there. And, of course, there'll be a lot of people there answering questions about the future of 3D and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But, the 3D movies are what's going to be cool. Besides Plan 9 from Outer Space, I'm hoping that we're going to screen a couple of the old 3D films from the 50s. People can get a chance to check some of that out, too.
And there's not only movies, there are showcases there for 3D games and short films and interactive media, and I mean it's a whole entire 3D experience. That's
right. That's what I said.
You're never going to take your glasses off the whole weekend.
There's really cool glasses that are now permanent. When you walk outside the theater, they polarize into sunglasses.
Huh.
So it's very, very cool. Yeah, way of and we'll be giving those away. You can also buy them there. Everybody needs their own permanent pair of 3D glasses, and they're also sunglasses. 3D sunglasses.
I think so too. But not only that, they're giving away tickets to the events and the screenings through Facebook and Twitter. Is that correct?
Yeah. Go to 3dff.org, and there's be a link to Facebook and Twitter. If you friend the festival, then you get free tickets to go to the shows. So highly recommended that you guys go on Facebook, 3dff.org, and friend or Twitter, and you'll get yourself some free tickets.
And your hosting duties, what do those entail? When will people be able to see you at the event?
Well, I'll definitely be there for my screening on Saturday night. We're screening my film at 10 o'clock. I'm going to introduce the film and then do a Q&A after. And then definitely be around for the last day, Sunday. I think we're showing Legend of the Guardians in 3D Sunday afternoon for the kids program. I'm definitely going to go to that because I want to see that in 3D.
Yeah.
And I'll be around, hanging around there, and we'll do the closing ceremony stuff. We're also throwing a 3D nightclub on Saturday night at the Avalon. It's something that they've done in the past and had great success with it. You can imagine everybody wandering around the nightclub with their 3D glasses on. Super cool. We have all these projections in 3D against the walls, and it was a big hit. I did it last year, so we'll bring that back on Saturday night. I'll be there. If you come around 3D Film Festival, you hang around, chances are more likely than not that you'll catch a glimpse of me.
Now, Dark Country, your film, how did that material lend itself to 3D?
I'm interested in 3D for its storytelling capacity, how to enhance a story by telling it in 3D, not just using it as a gimmick, but actually using 3D to tell the story. So in Dark Country is psychological thriller, I wanted to use the 3D to enhance the visceral feeling of being inside a killer's mind and experiencing the world through the killer's eyes. Mm-hmm. So that's the premise that I based shooting a film in 3D on, and I think it was successful in a lot of ways. And I think there's further to go in building the language of 3D and using it in an integral part of the storytelling, much the way that today we use sound. Sound is not just a gimmick or a fun thing, but it's an integral way of the way we experience a film. So is color, so is stereo, surround sound, and now 3D. We want to use 3D to enhance the movie-going experience and to enhance what you take away from a particular film.
Driving across the desert tonight. Take care of that new wife of yours. Ready? Mm-hmm. One last look?
No, thanks. You think we're crazy? Feel that? Like an oven outside, so hot.
You don't realize how much light the starlight gives off.
Mm-hmm. All the same, I'm touching with the light.
You all right?
Oh, God, you hit him!
Stay in the car. I need your help. Get the door.
What are we gonna do?
Don't worry. You'll be fine. Now, the Honey Boy.
Can't be happening.
Is over. Thomas Jane,
Lauren German and Ron Perlman. Dark Country.
So you actually shot this in 3D. How is the process of actually shooting a film in that format? Is it a little more arduous a process than regular film?
There's so many different aspects that goes into movie making. Each film is unique. You might be shooting in the rain. The one film, most of one film might take place on the ocean. All these things add to the physical production of making a film. So when you say, we're going to shoot it in 3D, it's just another layer of stuff that you're going to throw on the film. No, we're not shooting in the rain. We're not shooting in the fog. We're not shooting on the water. We're shooting in 3D. So and then if we shot 3D on the water, then that would be that set of parameters, With film, the movie itself dictates how many different parameters you're going to have to deal with. And with this one, it's 3D, so it shouldn't, and it didn't. We shot the film in 24 days. People say 3D slows you down. It does not. We shot it doesn't have to, put it that way. We shot the film. Dark Country is the very first live-action 3D film to be shot purely digital. So we cut a lot of ground. We broke a lot of ground with my film. I had a couple of Mac laptops nailed to a piece of plywood. That's how and they were tethered to the cameras that we were using. That's how we shot the movie. Today, you don't have all these cables, the proper monitors, and a whole other different better way of shooting 3D today. But part of my thesis was I wanted to be able to make a film in 3D and not spend any more time on it than I would in 2D. And I accomplished that. We shot the movie, like I said, in 24 days. So there's a lot to learn, in the process. And I like being on the cutting edge of what you can do with a particular set of parameters.
Well, in talking about 3D over the past couple of years on the show, and we've talked to James Cameron about it and a few other filmmakers about it, and Cameron's point is he thinks that 3D will just become kind of a norm, like you mentioned, like color became the norm, sound, right. All the technological innovations over the history of film. Do you feel the same way?
3D, of course. Of course. Well, why would we assume that we've stopped evolving?
Mm-hmm.
Right? When black and white film came in, that was a great achievement. When they added sound, that was a great achievement. They added stereo sound and color, those were great achievements. Why would we stop there?
Right.
Why would, as a society, would we suddenly say, well, that's it? We're all done evolving film. Of course not. No, we're going to have 3D film. That'll become the norm. And then we'll have holograms. That'll become the norm. God knows where we'll take it from there. I guarantee you it'll evolve. It'll continue to evolve. Get used to it.
Yeah. Do you mind?
An ever-changing kaleidoscope. Beautiful idea.
Do you mind if I ask you just a couple of questions about some previous projects that you've been involved in?
Sure. I might lose you because we're driving up into the hills, but go ahead.
Okay, because this is Dark Country is your first feature film directorial debut, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And you've worked with some terrific directors over the years, and I wanted to ask you about just a couple of them and see what you learned from them or you observed of them, starting with Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, great filmmaker. Very bright guy, and meticulous in his sort of orientation of the detail. And a great way with actors. A very, very unique way of dealing with actors that pays off. It shows that the performances not only are great individually, but they congeal together in a unique way.
Mm-hmm.
That is a result of his sensibility, the way he describes scenes. Thanks, pal. To the individual actor, and gets everybody sort of playing as an ensemble. He's a great way of bringing together a cast and making them feel like a united family that is working either for or against a particular goal or ideal. And I think directing is all about communicating. It's all about describing reality that you see or want to create. And your ability to describe that reality to other people determines what kind of director you are. All the directors I've worked with that are great at what they do are excellent at describing reality. Describe. You can't describe too much.
Well,
you can't over-describe something.
You work with another director that's kind of, for movie fans, that's kind of wrapped in mystery, and that's Terrence Malick. What was his directorial approach?
Terry had a very sort of a free-form, free-flowing directorial approach. He was extremely fluid with the camera and also his actors. He's someone who's seeking the truth over form or even substance. The truth of a moment, truth of what an actor's behavior is, or what you're looking at, is much more interesting to Terry than anything else. I was shooting a scene with Terry Malick, and halfway through the scene, him and John Toll, the EP, just got up and left with the camera, and they left me sitting there, and then they came back in about 45 minutes. I said, "Whoa, hey, where the hell did you guys go?" And Terry said, "Oh, we saw a butterfly. Butterfly was just the most beautiful thing, and I had to go film it. Anyway, where were we?" And so that's Terry Malick. Incredible.
Wow. And I have to.
Beautiful film.
It is a beautiful film. All of his films are transcendent. I mean, they're breathtaking. This is one movie I have to ask you about before I let you go, because in this film, it's a really good movie, and you stood toe-to-toe with two of the great actors we've ever had, and that's Gene Hackman and Morgan Freeman in Under Suspicion. Oh, yeah. What was that experience like? Give me a taste of that.
Yeah, sorry. Well, that was an interesting, for me, because it was kind of like a samurai class in acting. Mm-hmm. We had two extremely different approaches, and I learned a tremendous amount from both. Probably the film that I learned the most on was working with Hackman and Freeman. Hackman is an incredibly meticulous actor who every detail of his character is worked out. And when I was doing my scenes with Hackman, and I trying to be interesting, I'd pick up a paperweight on the table and start playing with it, and he'd say, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm just doing a little bit of business. He goes, why? Why are you doing it? Don't do anything unless you have a reason to do it, a real reason. Don't do anything. It kind of inhibited me for a little while, but I learned from it, you know. And Morgan Freeman, a much more fluid approach, more organic. You know, he would take naps in between setups. He had a much more sort of intuitive, fluid way of dealing with his character. I learned from that. Well, and I like to think that my own personal approach is a combination of the two. I think they're both equally as valuable approaches to acting. But these are two guys who have mastered their unique approaches to acting, and I never learned more, Louis said. Every day was like a master samurai class in acting.
Yeah.
Great.
It feels like that watching it as for me as a fan of acting and a fan of film. I mean and it's so kind of contained in that room for the majority of the piece, and it's just acting bliss, that movie for me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention Hung. That's been picked up for another season, correct?
Yep, we're on for season 3.
I'm in the oldest profession in the world. Well, I'm about to be. Hey, it's been a rough couple of years.
In high school, you were the king.
What am I now?
Now you got time. Dad, wake up, Dad.
What?
You've got insurance, right?
I am still your mother, and I'm not going to give up on us.
Your mom is trying, guys. You know, she wants to be a part of your lives.
Just fix the house, okay?
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Repeat after me. I'm going to be a millionaire.
So, you want to get some coffee?
What is your winning tool? I've got a big dick, Floyd.
Oh, big, oh my God.
I'm a highly respected educator. I don't think you know who I am.
If you want, I can help.
You want to be my pimp?
Yeah.
What proof do I have that you're a good pimp, Tanya?
I have an N. She is the linchpin of our strategy. These clients of yours, whatever you want them to buy. My ladies are so loaded, they're recession-proof.
Ray, I put a lot of effort into being your pimp. Are you ready to be part of my winning team?
You shouldn't be lowering your price in this economy. You should be raising it.
I had lunch with Ray, and he decided that Happiness Consultants should be run by the 3 of us.
Ray is my prostitute. Share Ray or no Ray.
You need a professional, a sex therapist. A professional. You'd be surprised at what you could do to avoid another divorce. Welcome to the majors, Ray.
Well, I love that show. I love that show. When you're invested in a character like that for that long a period of time, do you have any input on where you might want your character to go?
Yeah, a little bit, you know, here and there. But for the most part, you know, the relationship I have, the writers, Tree and Colette, is very sort of organic. You know, in a lot of ways, they think I am Ray Drecker, and in a strange way, a lot of what we do sort of mirrors my own life. So I stay out of the results business, and I don't tend to tell them where or what I want to do with my character, because I trust that they already know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you know, that's kind of rare. I'm sure with other writers, I'd be, you know, writing them long 10-page notes every episode. But not these guys. These guys have a very intuitive understanding of my character.
Yeah.
And I like to be surprised.
There is great writing on that show.
Me.
And you're terrific in the show. And you're right, the writing is impeccable on that program. So the 3D Film Festival, September 30th through October 3rd. Your film, Dark Country, is part of the lineup, and it plays 10 o'clock on Saturday. That would be October 2nd.
Yep, you got it. I'll be there. Q&A, and expect to see all 3D enthusiasts and come on down and have some fun, because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, that is Thomas Jane, a great actor and the host of the upcoming 3D Film Festival. It takes place at Los Angeles Film School, I believe, this year, in Los Angeles, obviously, September 30th through October 3rd, and this is very important. You can get tickets to free screenings by becoming a fan of their page on Facebook or following them on Twitter. And you can find out more about the festival at 3dff.org.